All right, you're back, which means you either really like what I have to say or you just really like being mad at me.
I think what happened. Propaganda.
Like I said earlier, y'all, lots of folks dig superheroes. I already let y'all know who my superhero is, and I talk about him a lot. Make sure you see the 3 other videos before this one for this stuff to make sense. Anyway, the Bible seems to speak of other superheroes in the Bible, and y'all have been joining me in this examination of them. But before we can get to these superheroes, in this case, the Nephilim, and many believe they were more like supervillains, we gotta get to where they came from. The Bible says quite plainly that the Nephilim are the children of human women who were married to angels known as the sons of God. But a lot of people insist on making it more complicated than that. They'll say that they were the sons of Seth. The Bible doesn't say that. You're taking liberties with scriptures like a Sadducee and removing spiritual attributes. Like a Sadducee, you dismiss angels, or you put in or remove angels where you think it fits. Or they'll say they were fallen angels. Look at the verse again. I believe it says the sons of God. But Jesus said the angels in heaven don't marry. Please review the videos that precede this video in the series. People are all over the place when it comes to marriage and angels. They think that angels don't marry and that angels don't have the anatomy for sex. According to Genesis 6:2, they do. You're trying to fit angels into your human concept of holiness against what the Bible says. And according to those who believe that angels don't have the anatomy to have sex, they're the same ones who think that it was fallen angels who were having sex with women. If an angel doesn't have the anatomy for sex, it ain't gonna matter one bit if they're fallen or not. Now let's see. We've covered when folks keep bringing up Matthew 22:30. We've covered the book of Enoch. Now let's cover Jude 1:6-7. And the angels who did not keep their positions of authority, but abandoned their proper dwelling, these he has kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day. In a similar way, Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding towns gave themselves up to sexual immorality and perversion. They serve as an example of those who suffer the punishment of eternal fire. Now, y'all are looking at this as if the angels were doing the same thing that the people in Sodom and Gomorrah were doing. In Jude, it tells you what the sin of the angels were, and it tells you what the sin of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah was. The thing that the book of Jude is informing you that they have in common is where they are going. Both these angels and both the people of Sodom and Gomorrah are going to meet the same fiery fate. The Bible makes it very clear what their sins were. If you have or are presently serving in the military, then you clearly understand the offense the angels committed in Jude 1:6. The general orders involve assuming your post with authority and not abandoning it without proper clearance. That's not something to fool around with. That can get your rank reduced, get your pay docked, you can be placed in confinement, you can be court-martialed. Abandoning your post with the intent of desertion is a pretty serious offense, and that's what the angels spoken of in Jude did. It says it quite plainly. You think that the angels abandoned their post because they wanted to get their freak on with anything that lived. Why do you think that? Because in the next verse, it talks about the sins of humans in Sodom and Gomorrah who were sexually perverse and pursued strange flesh. Y'all, the verse is warning people that those committing sins like those in Sodom and Gomorrah will suffer the same fate as the angels who abandoned their post. You don't even have to be in the military to know that leaving your station without clearance is followed by disciplinary action. If you're working at McDonald's and you just abandon your station at them French fries like it ain't no thing, the manager might want to have a little talk with you. Y'all are trying to make these angels out to be like these horny perverts that just dropped out of heaven and were having audacious sex with donkeys and goats and Perez Hilton. Yet in Genesis 6:2, it tells you that they only beheld the women. Why? Because they were beautiful and they wanted to have families. People who just want to hook up and have the freakiest group sex they can don't do it because they want to have families. Y'all keep insisting that these angels left their first estate because of sexual desire. And a lot of y'all use the dubious book of Enoch to support that. Y'all, the angels who left their first estate fell with Satan. Satan was the first to sin against God, and he influenced the other angels to follow him. According to the book of Enoch, it was because of the human women. Not true. They followed Satan before Adam was created, which means human women were not even in existence for them to fall for. The fall of angels was politically motivated, not sexually motivated. According to the Bible, as stated in Isaiah and Ezekiel, it tells you why the angels fell. It tells you exactly that Satan's motivation wasn't because he wanted to descend down to earth and have a bunch of weird sex. He wanted to ascend above God. Satan thought he could surpass God. That was his motivation, and the angels he influenced agreed. They wanted to follow Satan to take over the throne of God. It tells you flat out that pride was Lucifer's problem. It wasn't lust. If he lusted for anything, it was for the throne of God. The angels abandoned their post to join Satan in trying to take the throne of God. That was their sin. The sin of Sodom and Gomorrah was perverse sexuality. The point is, those who behave the same way they do in Sodom and Gomorrah will go to the same place as the angels who abandoned their post to join the devil to try to take the throne of God. That is the warning of Jude. Y'all, the sons of God are exactly what God says they are. The sons of God. Because these are the angels that did not rebel against him and join with Satan. The angels in Jude are not given the distinction of being the sons of God, but just angels. The sons of God and angels aren't the same angels. Even the Septuagint doesn't just generally call the sons of God angels. It doesn't use a general term of angels in Genesis 6:2. It adheres to saying the sons of God because there is a distinction. So Jude in the Greek is going to say angels, and the Septuagint doesn't take the Greek word for angels and apply it in Genesis 6:2. It still makes the distinction and acknowledges them as the sons of God. Y'all, the book of Enoch is more satanic in nature than biblical. The name of Satan means accuser of the brethren. And the book of Enoch reads like a journal of Lucifer making sour grape accusations against the other angels who didn't join him and implicates them for evils contrary to what the Bible says about the sons of God. Jude quoted Enoch, not the book of Enoch. Remember, just like the Quran, it implements biblical historical truths to give it credibility. And then when it establishes trust, it lies. The book of Enoch does the same. I'm Alfonso Rach with ZoNation, and thanks y'all for hanging with me as I explore the Nephilim. We'll follow up on the next one. In the meantime, I hope you'll support my idea in the article explained at the link included in the video. Y'all are trying to make these angels out to be like these horny perverts